Up until a couple of weeks ago, I had no idea this knife even existed. This is the Real Steel Akuma. It's an Ivan Braganets design, and him and Real Steel, they have a long history together of making some fantastic knives. And we're going to dive into this. Before we get started, let us know down in the comments what your EDC is for today. So the Akuma here, this is going to be an affordable knife through Real Steel, more of their budget end, and they're going to come in under $60. And for that, we're going to be looking at K110 steel, which Real Steel does a great job with. We have a satin finish on that drop point blade, and then a large cutout here, a single stud on the thumb flick side for righties anyway, and then a nice minimal rear flipper. And I have to say, for a non-traditional rear flipper, this is one of the best that I have ever seen. The way that it goes down into that valley and pokes back up, combined with some really nice jimping that goes up and around, it's just the perfect deployment. I mean, it is grippy as all hell, and it just works really good. Detent is absolutely money. You can use that cutout for the reverse flick, and then, of course, the stud for the thumb flick. And you could use the cutout if you wanted to get really weird. We are looking at a full G10 handle here. Now, this is where this knife really, really shines. We have textured G10 here on both sides, and then a full length G10 backspacer. And you guys know who've been around, I am a huge fan of backspacers, especially these full length ones. That encloses that entire spine area and just makes knives so much more comfortable. The less you have to deal with on a handle, the better. And because this is enclosed, it should be even more comfortable than the next knife without anything here. Because of that gap, it can sometimes cause hot spots or just be uncomfortable. But because of that full length G10 backspacer, these grippy handles, this thing feels awesome in the hand. We have a butt mounted deep carry clip that's going to be steel, and I do not believe it's reversible. If I'm wrong about that, I'll correct myself, but I think this is right hand only. And we are looking at a knife that has only a single liner, which is the lock side for the liner here. And we have great access to it. There's jimping on it. Very, very well done. Ivan Bragnitz, up until a year ago, I didn't really know a whole lot about him at all. And I've experienced a ton of his designs at this point, and you can tell he has an eye, and in his mind, he wants to design knives that are functional users. The things that he does just make a ton of sense to me. This transition to the blade, I mean, it's just a great knife for a user. I've been carrying this the last 2 weeks every single day and using the hell out of it. It's lightweight because you don't have a whole lot going on. We'll check the weight here in a minute. But I just wanted to cover some of the different things going on with this knife. Now, the last time I looked, they only had about 25 of these in stock or so. So there's plenty there, but they are getting limited. And I don't know if that's because the knife is just close to going out of stock and it'll be back at some point, or if this knife is maybe being dwindled out of their catalog. That I'm not sure of. I don't think they would have sent it along if it was something that was being worked out of their catalog, though. So I think, they're just selling and, they're becoming lower and lower as far as the stock is concerned. Let's go ahead and we'll get a measurement on this. And that's another thing on top of everything else that I love is this is a great size. We're looking at just shy of 8.5. I mean, I could give it 8.5 overall. And then we have 3.5 inches of cutting edge, and we're looking at 3 5/8 strong. Call it almost 3.7. So a very good size. And you'll see that here with our comparison knives. The Kaiser Drop Bear up top and the Benchmade Bug Out on the bottom. Those are mid-size knives, and you'll see this quite a bit bigger than both of those. We bring out a couple of big dogs here. We got the full-size Kaiser Militar up top and the CJRB Frack down on the bottom, which is a big old boy. And you'll see that the Akuma, it's a little bit bigger than the Militar and just a touch smaller than the Frack on both ends. Next up, we'll go ahead and check this pocket clip. Because of this texturing, that should help keep it from going side to side, no question, if we have a little bit of retention there, which we do. And this is going to carry nice and deep in the pocket. There'll be a tiny bit poking out there, but not much at all. And as I said, I'll look, but I do not think this one's reversible. Usually they are. And this one could very well be, but I don't think that it is. Like I said, I'll let you guys know. Great retention on the way out. But this is lining up to be early on here, the first couple weeks of dealing with this knife and carrying this knife. This thing is lining up to be a great $60 knife. No, we're not getting 14C, which I would like. But there's a couple of things. It's really lightweight. It's over 8 inches, and I think we're going to be surprised by the weight. I've been wondering what it is, but the knife is really well balanced. As a righty, it carries really well. Sweatpants, jeans, gym shorts, doesn't matter. Very comfortable. We have a nice robust blade here, but it feels like, and it cuts like, it comes down pretty thin, which we are going to check that right now. So we have our calipers here, and we'll check our handle thickness and our blade stock, get a rough idea as to what we're dealing with. And that's the other thing, is the handle's nice and tall, but it's not overly thick. So we're looking at like 0.5 here. It's not contoured, but the knife is very comfortable. And anyone who's experienced a full-length backspacer, when you get that knife, those specific knives in your hand that just melt into your hand, and it becomes almost like a part of your hand. Let's see here. We got our blade stock. Try to get the thickest part, and yeah, we're up there at like 144, 145. And then we'll check our behind the edge and see what we're working with. We'll check a random spot here. Oh, I had a good hold and I messed it up. There we go. Ooh, I knew it was coming down there pretty thin. 14 thousandths. So, let's see how this thing cuts out of the box. Technically, not out of the box. That's my normal saying. This is after 2 weeks of me using it, so technically not out of the box. So let's see how that K110 is holding up. And I have several knives from Real Steel, Petrified Fish. I mean, there's a bunch of companies that use K110. And Bowler K110 is D2, right? But it's done by Bowler. And in that case, we're going to be getting a solid D2. And what that means is great edge retention, great toughness, and with a little bit of care, the corrosion will be just fine. D2 has gotten a bad name. For anyone who's new or will listen, D2 and K110 are not bad steels. There's only bad companies imitating the steel or doing it poorly that make D2 look bad. And that's what has happened over the years, is a very well done D2 is going to have great edge retention, better than my beloved 14C, and it's going to be a very tough steel. Yeah, it lacks a little bit in the corrosion resistance, but as I said, with a little bit of care and, with a little bit of know-how, just basically don't be a dumbass and you'll be fine. Make sure it's not being folded up all wet or bloody, or you didn't spill coffee on it and just close it up and throw it in your pocket or whatever. A little bit of care and your blade should be good to go unless you're getting a bead blasted blade. Then you're just asking for trouble. Ask me how I know. But this satin finish here, or any type of coated K110 or D2, is going to be good to go, in my opinion, from Real Steel and or Petrified Fish. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the weight here on this fella. And what did we say it was coming in at? 8.5 inches overall. So it's a big boy. And I feel like this thing is down there like ounce per inch type of deal, if not lower. Let's say 3.4. Oh, shit. It is up there at 4. I guess that may... Okay. I don't see it. It don't feel like it. What'd I say? 3.4. Yeah. Laugh it up. Laugh it up. I'd like to see you guess this shit. You know how many times I've gotten them right? Yeah, a bunch. But I've gotten a lot wrong, too. That's okay. So, 4 ounces. Not too shabby for a knife that is 8.5 inches overall. Very well balanced knife. Very comfortable knife. And also, this is going to be, you know, if you're someone who likes to fidget, or you're thinking you might like to fidget with your knife, it is a liner lock, but look at that action. Thwacks out of there. Going to close all the way home without anything. I mean, look at that. It's going to go. It's going to go. You got the flipper, the thumb stud, the cutout. Yeah, this thing's really cool. We're going to go ahead and check our lockup here in a moment. This knife was centered. It must be kind of, yeah, it's working itself loose after 2 weeks. I haven't touched the hardware or anything like that, which we have flathead hardware here, mini flathead. I just use a small flathead for anything like this. Katuo does stuff like this as well, and I just use a little small flathead for it. But this was centered up. It's starting to work itself loose a little bit. No detent lash. This thing is on point. And we might have a little bit of movement in there because it's loosening up. But I'm going to continue checking it as is. As far as lockup goes, it's like 25%. But it's locked up pretty good. I can get a little bit of side to side in there. But is that due to us being loose? All right, you talked me into it. Why didn't you tell me the scale was still there? Jeez, you guys are... Come on, dude. Okay, this one will work. Yeah, so it was a little loose. Not putting anything on it, just kind of letting it do its thing. It was just a little loose. That's what she said. But you can see we got our good action still, and just a touch maybe. Beautiful. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the good stuff. My only complaint on this knife is, and it's not, I'm being a bitch, but I want to complain about something. The tip of the pocket clip, it's not pointy, it's not sharp, but every now and again, when I go to kick the knife off one way or another, how is that? I think when I'm going to use the flipper and my fingers come down on top of that tip there, I just know that it's there. It feels like it's kind of pointy, but it's not. So that's my main bitch about this knife right here is that. And, you know, that's really just me complaining to find something to complain about. Minimal hardware, 3 on each side. Yeah, I don't have much to complain about with this knife. And no, I'm not classifying this as a review of this knife. This is more of just kind of an overview slash early impressions of the knife, okay? I'm not doing an unboxing and we're not doing a review. This is kind of in the middle. We're going to go ahead and check this lock. Make sure it stays locked up here. Couple of light taps towards the tip. Very good. Check it. In the middle, those were some medium taps, some pretty good ones. Triple tap in the middle, close it, check it. And some harder ones up here. And we're going to be good to go. And that's Real Steel and Concept off the top of my memory, that I've gotten a ton of knives from them to check out and review, whatever. And I've checked every single one of them over the last 12 months. And not a single MFer has failed a lockup test yet from Concept or Real Steel. That is fantastic. I'm not saying all the other companies have failed, but there have been some questionable things from certain companies, and that's a video for another day. But for now, you'll have to let me know. What do you think of the Akuma here? I love hearing from you guys. Your thoughts and opinions on these knives and companies means a great deal to me and for anyone looking for more information. And if nothing else, I've had people tell me that they love seeing your guys' carry down there because it gives them other knives that maybe they haven't heard of to go and look up. And same for me. So I love and look forward to seeing your guys' carry for the day down in the comments. Even if that's all you leave, really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. That helps push the video out there to more people. If you're new to the channel here and you enjoy this type of content, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe because I release daily videos just like this. I will put up a couple of new videos on your screen. YouTube is recommending you go check out that one right there. Have yourself an awesome day. I'll catch you on the next one.